look at all my special guests today. I'm so excited. We have one more who may be popping in. He's having computer trouble, unfortunately. But we are excited to talk about WandaVision in its entirety, also the finale, all sorts of stuff. But real quick, I'm going to let my guests tell you who they are and where you can find them. Let's go with Ren first. Oh, this way.
Oh, me. Hello, I'm Ren Geekness. You can find me on Twitter and YouTube at Ren Geekness and on Instagram at RenVieira93. Excited to be talking some WandaVision and just get it all out of the system.
Go ahead, Dave.
Oh, it's me. I'm up. All right, I'm Dave Lee Down Under. You can find me on Dave Lee Down Under at YouTube and Twitter and Instagram and all that stuff. So I do videos. I don't know. I've got lost. It's 12:30 where I am at the moment, so my brain capacity is slowly going down.
We made him stay awake for this.
You've made me stay awake for this. No, I'm happy to be here. I'm excited to be here. But you can catch all the great movie goodness over on my channel and stuff like that. Over the next person.
James,
I love it. Good morning, you guys, or good afternoon, or good evening if you're Dave.
Yeah.
No. My name is James. Oh yeah, that's right. Sorry, Ren, you're in the UK. I can't remember all these time zones now.
It's okay.
I know.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Well, I'm Real James. You can find me on YouTube just by searching Real James, REEL James. I do a ton of movie reactions, reviews, and we dive into TV, news, and everything in between, guys. It's been so fun. Tessa, thank you so much for bringing us on. Honestly, this is such a blessing. We love being a part of this every single, almost Friday, so we love it.
That's a good introduction, James. That's a good one.
Yeah, it was. I was that rehearsed. All right, Ozzy, go ahead.
Hi, everybody. My name is Ozzy. I am from Miami, neighboring James, and you can find me all over the internet under Film Foodie Ozzy. I also run a dads group called Miami Dads Group, and we do everything from movies, entertainment, and getting the little ones into the culture. I have a 5-year-old who's still sleeping. But yeah, we talk everything: movies, TV, anime, comics, food. And we appreciate a follow and do lots of giveaways as well.
Awesome. All right, so let's start at the end and let's start with the finale. I think the finale, the people who were upset with the finale were a victim to all of the theories and to Paul Bettany himself for trolling us and making us think what could be happening. I think we had all of these things. Ren had some incredible theories. Aren't exactly correct yet, but they're there. And but yeah, so what did you guys think, Ren? How did you feel about no Ultron? That's what I want to know first.
Okay. In all honesty, I was disappointed that there was no Ultron, but that didn't affect where the show was leading, because if Ultron was not there at all, he just wasn't there at all. I was disappointed just because I love Ultron, but that didn't affect my appreciation for the rest of the show, didn't affect my rating of the show, and didn't affect what I already thought was great up until that point. I will say there are disappointing aspects to the finale, and to the show as a whole, but it's still a show that holds on its own, and it still survives on all those great qualities that were already there up until the finale. And there's also some great things in the finale.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you there. I do. And I think we have a little group chat, and I think we were all like, Ren, we're gonna kill you if Ultron doesn't show up, because now you've hyped us up for this. But we're allowing it. I did sit through this and I was waiting for White Vision to speak, and I was like, oh, come on, James Spader. And I thought for a hot second, and I know we talked about this in our chat, I thought maybe his voice was mixed with Paul Bettany's, but then the next sentence you could tell, that was like, I think that was an initial, like, I hope this is going to happen. Is that what it is? And then it definitely wasn't. But yeah, so let's go with James. Were you upset about no Ultron or no big cameo, so to speak?
Okay, so I wasn't, and this is because I learned a very valuable lesson about watching Game of Thrones. When I got to the finale for that series, my expectations, I left them at the door, and I enjoyed that finale. So it taught me moving forward to never really set unreal expectations. Although, what I will say is that I really wanted Pietro from the Fox X-Men universe to come over and actually be the bridge for the multiverse. I was really disappointed with how they handled that reveal. I thought it was just the butt of a joke. I mean, Ralph, was it Bonner? And then, you guys can fill in the rest. just for me it just undercut the entire moment, and it made Tiana Paris's like side story with Pietro, it made it kind of undervalued to me. It totally took down the series finale a notch. But I'm not upset with no Ultron, I'm not upset with no Mephisto, because at the end of the day it's WandaVision. It was always going to be about those two.
Yeah, I know. I tend to agree with you. I mean, listen, I laughed at that part. Like, I was like, that's funny. But then even watching it back the second time, I was like, okay, that wasn't as fun. Like, it was funny, the initial, like I was just like him, like when he goes, ha ha ha, and he like giggled. That was me. But but I do think, I don't know, I guess I'm glad that he was a part of it. I think he was definitely in there as like a joke, as a mislead for us, right? To think like, oh, is this going to be the X-Men? And then it's not. But I would say if it wasn't going to be MCU Quicksilver, I'm glad they had him come in just as for fun. And hey, you never know. He's an actor. Maybe he'll pop up in isn't he an out of work actor? He's had his head shot, so maybe we'll see him pop up in the future. I don't know. Dave, what did you think? Were your expectations met, or were you disappointed?
I hated it. No, I'm joking. Oh. No, I thought it was great. I found the last maybe 2 episodes were a little bit underwhelming. I feel like the way they paid off a lot of things was a bit underwhelming. But at the end of the day, I'm not one to usually sit and speculate on anything. So doing stuff like this is very sort of out of my box of what I would usually do. And I've learned this because of the way the people reacted when Star Wars Last Jedi turned out completely different to what anyone had expected. I wasn't one that was personally disappointed with that film. I loved everything they did with that movie. But the way that people reacted to that, for me, was like, it's not worth it. It's not worth sitting there and like speculating all these big crazy things. And I think I've learned myself too with the Marvel films. I think the point I really got into the Marvel films was Age of Ultron when that came out. So going back even that far, I mean, I've been watching them obviously as they've been coming out, but that was like the moment where I got like full into the films. And even going back that far, I remember like speculating all these huge things are going to happen with friends that are, you know, like you guys, you know, really into the comics and know what's going on and stuff. And like, all these crazy things are going to happen, and they just don't happen. And then film after film after film after film, it's the same thing. You're like, oh, this big, you know, this happened in the comics, and this happened. This character's going to come, and that never happens. So I'm always one that kind of doesn't like to go in with like big theories and stuff. That said, WandaVision was very different, I think, because of the way they played it out, the way they rolled out the show week by week, the way that everyone was, the conversation that everyone was having around this, whether it was us in our group or just people on Twitter or anything. It was so easy for me to get swept away in it for the first time in like a long time. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I thought it was great. I loved it. I just loved the whole communal thing about this show. But then at the end of the day, when you get so stuck into hoping something's going to happen and then it doesn't, and then they play off again, I didn't have a huge issue with the way that they played out the Quicksilver arc. But when you play off something like that in the way that they did, you feel like it's a little bit underwhelming. Like the way you could have gone with it. And at the end of the day, it's on us. It's on the people who are speculating. It's not like Marvel is there going, oh, this is going to happen. You know, this is all people just picking and like taking the minuscule thing and going, oh, yeah, to turn this into, you know, something enormous. Anyway, I enjoyed it. I thought it was great. I thought the entire series was great. I just feel like some of the payoffs were a little bit underwhelming for me. Anyway.
I agree with you a little bit here and there. I know exactly what you're saying, and it is getting swept up in it. And it is Paul Bettany being like, "Oh, I'm working with someone I wanted to work with all my life, and we had such chemistry, and blah blah blah." And it's like, Paul, you talk about yourself. Come on. And
the thing with that was it wasn't just one interview. Like I found like a supercut. It was like 6 or 7 interviews where he said it over and over again. And normally would be one to be like, I don't believe this guy. This, you could just tell he's being just so smarmy about it. But it's so easy to get swept away with it and be like, oh, what is it? Well, who's it going to be? But these Marvel people now, they're so smart. They just play on us. And even Kevin Feige does it a lot now too, as well. Just works everyone up. And that was so mean of Paul Bettany, but I thought it was hilarious. Honestly, I thought that was hilarious.
Right, now that it's like we know who it is, I'm like, that's funny. Like, that's really funny. Yeah. And then like his Good Morning America interview, and he was like, yeah, I thought it would be funny. And then people were deep diving into like his IMDb, who's he worked with before, because he says he's never worked with this.
Yeah.
It's like, it can't be this person because of this, and it can't be that person. And it was just him being ridiculous. Ozzy, what did you think of the finale?
The finale for me was wonderful. And again, to piggyback on what Dave and what a lot of people have kind of been saying, is that you can't outsmart the mouse at the end of the day. Yeah. You cannot outsmart Marvel, Kevin Feige, his team. And I feel a lot of the negativity is coming from people who thought they could. And it's casting kind of this negative. And that's if we let it. Doing things like this, I think, is great because we're kind of highlighting the positivity of it and we're actually talking about it. Because we saw it happen with Star Wars. We saw it take someone out of Star Wars almost, Kelly Marie Tran, all the toxicity, and we need to bring it back and be like, look, this is something that really hasn't been done before, especially, that's it. There's no series 2, season 2, right. And the way that we're actually getting great character development, which was the biggest complaint with the movies, was that we were getting these like snippets of these great characters, and now we're getting something different, and you're never going to please everybody, just like the Game of Thrones finale. But it sucks that right away, my wife, it was great through COVID and everything. We made it a plan, like, we watched it separately the week before, but it's brought so many people together. And the conversations and, made fans of people who weren't fans, of people who were just kind of like, oh, she's cool. But now, like, they're reading comics, they're going deeper into it, they're enjoying it. Yeah. I need to get started on it too, because I just haven't been able to. But, a lot of the things I feel like we set ourselves up for our own disappointment. And in a way, it's great because you get to theorize all these crazy things like, oh my God, they're going to bring in this, they're going to bring in that. We still don't know. There are so many theories that, Evan Peters could be part of the multiverse still, because in this universe, he could just be a Joe Schmo, but in his universe, right, he was Quicksilver, so it's setting up a lot of things. It was very emotional. Like, they really went like, you could deep, Joe.
I think one interesting thing, spitballing off that, is that Marvel have been so smart in planting a seed and not paying it off for like 6 or 7 years. So you look now, a lot of the stuff that's happening now in WandaVision was stuff that was teased back in Age of Ultron. And that movie got so much crap because, it's opened all these, plot holes and all these plot threads that were open and they never went anywhere. They're finally going somewhere, like however many years later, 6 years later after that film, whenever that was. And I feel like the thing with WandaVision is it's going to be another one of those things where, and that's what has annoyed me about some of the discourse around this, is that people are pointing at plot holes. Right. Why is there a plot hole here? Why have you left this open? Why is this? Because people are viewing this as a television program as opposed to as a grander piece of this. Yes. A little piece of a grander puzzle. And I think people have to get it. I mean, it's understandable because it's the first Marvel TV show in the MCU. But I think people need to understand it's just a piece of the puzzle. And things that are stuck in WandaVision, we might not get a payoff for like 5 or 6 years.
Leo's here!
Hey! Can you guys hear me?
Yes!
Busted out my old Mac. I had to improvise here, but good morning, my neighbors. Hello.
Good morning. Introduce yourself. Tell people where they can find you, and then you can say what you thought of the finale, whether you liked it or didn't.
Oh, right on. Hey, guys, I'm Leo. You can find me over at Geekly Goods on YouTube. And the finale,
I really loved it, guys. I actually really loved the finale a lot. One thing though, Ralph Boner, that was not nice. That was not nice at all. Like, why did they have to do that to us? I wanted a Quicksilver. Like, come on. Why'd you have to bring in Evan Peters, get us all hyped up?
Because they're
just
Marvel.
to give us Ralph Boner, man.
But listen, he's an actor, so we might see him in the background of things from now on. I kind of love that they gave him a headshot.
And he said it was awesome.
I will say that I agree with Dave and James and Leo on the effect that reveal had, but at the same time, I kind of really understanding in terms of casting, because if you're going to present a fake Quicksilver, but pretend it's a real Quicksilver, you need someone that the audience will accept as that character. And Kevin Feige and everyone else involved in that casting knew as soon as he shows up, we'll just accept him as Quicksilver. Like, we'll maybe suspect something is wrong because of the context of the show, but as soon as we see him, that's Quicksilver for all of us.
That's true.
I have wondered whether they approached Aaron Taylor Johnson to come back. And at the last minute, they just, and maybe he said no, maybe he couldn't do it. And the last minute, they went, let's just get Evan Peters and maybe pull some sort of little gag at the end. I don't know.
Wasn't he very vocal about like hating how he was like killed off and like not, and then being angry at Marvel?
Yeah, I don't remember that.
I don't know.
I don't remember that, Tessa, but he did do a junket interview where he had to stop himself from answering a question about whether or not he would return in the Marvel Studios cinematic universe, like if he would reprise his role as Quicksilver as a part of the Avengers.
Marvel does love bringing people back to life, right?
Yeah, they do. That's true. That's
Except Quicksilver.
Except Quicksilver, apparently. He's the only one who's actually really dead. But so, real quick, and I want to talk about the Skrulls here. So, because we got just a little bit of Monica getting her powers. That was kind of, I feel like, I don't want to say she was underused because this really is Wanda's show, and I think they were trying to save us time in Captain Marvel 2. We don't have to explain how she got her powers. You guys saw it in WandaVision. Now we're throwing her in. But, you know, do you think they're talking Talos or Nick Fury? Does it really matter?
I think it was Fury. Definitely Nick Fury. Like as soon as she pointed up and she was like, "My man needs to talk to you." I was like, Nick Fury, we're back here. Like, I wish he would have like walked up. Like, even if it was just one shot, just give us something, Fury. The eye patch. I don't care. Anything.
Just the eye patch.
I have to talk to you about the Space Initiative.
Yes.
Space Avengers. Let's do it.
Well, I think the thing that gives away that it must be Fury is because when they mentioned Carol in one of the previous episodes, obviously there was some sort of animosity between the two there. So I think if in this post-credit scene she'd been told, "Oh, you know, Captain Marvel wants to speak to you," she wouldn't have been happy about it.
Right.
Or she was like, "Oh, give a little smile. Oh, it's got to be Fury. Has to be Fury."
I was thinking Fury or Talos because the two of them are just together right now. You know, and Skrull. I think my brain went to Talos, but
did Talos?
Talos is on Earth and Nick Fury is in space.
Yeah,
we saw
that's true.
That's from home.
True.
Yes,
because I agree with Leo. At first, I thought it was Talos. I even said it in my review. If you go to my review, I say Talos. I'm changing my mind. I'm with Leo because it's Fury because he's the one that's up there.
Right. That's a good point. I'm forgetting that it's not. This isn't after. It's Far From Home.
How long has he been up there, by the way, Nick Fury? Did they ever say that?
I do know.
Could he have been up there
all time?
No, because he came back with the snap.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I was going to say maybe he's been up there since Cap 2, but you're right. He did rematerialize.
Yeah. And he was at Tony's funeral, like secretly.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
was that him though, or was that?
Was that him or was it
Talos?
Whole time.
We'll never know.
I'm sure we'll find out. They'll pay it off in 6 years' time.
I am excited. So yes. So there we go. We got our first Secret Invasion Easter egg. Yes. So that was clearly a nod to Secret Invasion, which I love Secret Invasion. And I get a little frustrated sometimes thinking about it because I really want it to lead into Dark Reign. And I don't know if Marvel will go there. And I really hope they do. But that's like really dark. And it
could, but it's just not how you're thinking about Dark Reign, you know? Just like Secret Invasion is not going to be the thing from the comics. Maybe they'll do Dark Reign, but It's not the thing from the comics.
Yeah. Well, that goes back to what we were saying before. Is like we're always expecting, the big end game of what's going to happen. Mephisto sort of thing, because that's what happened in the comics. But time and time again, they have proven to us they do not stick with the comics. Even if it looks like, maybe like the first act of a film is like very much, along the lines of where the comics went. WandaVision was very much leading us down whatever path we thought it was going down, and then takes in a complete, 360. And I feel like that's what they've gotten down so perfectly, is that even the people who are so familiar with the comics, it's just going to be a completely new experience for them. Which is, at the end of the day, kind of like, why are we coming up with these crazy theories and stuff? Because it's always going to be like something that we do not expect. It's going to be something completely original.
But that's one thing about WandaVision I really like, is that we got to like theorize and think about all these cool things every week. Like, guys, I thought we were about to see Reed Richards. Like, Mephisto, maybe that was a stretch, but could we get somebody, Reed, at least Doctor Strange? I thought he was like,
he was referenced.
He was referenced. I thought he was going to have him with her. When they went by and you saw her in that final end credit scene, you saw her with the Darkhold. I thought for sure, going around the corner, it's going to be Doctor Strange. And then I was like, oh. I mean,
they're not going to give us everything right away. Again, they've set up probably 4 or 5 different other storylines and shows.
That's true. Right.
Yeah, they definitely have.
I got you.
That's how they are. What were you
do you mind if I hop in real quick? Okay, so I want to piggyback off of what Dave and what Ozzy were saying as well, because this show exemplified what Marvel's really good at. And they run a marathon. They don't run a sprint. They're not sprinting to the finish line, right? So the thing is, this is going to be a very long race. And I'm kind of glad, because I'm not trying to compare both, brands, but DC ran to the finish line with Batman versus Superman. They didn't give us a build up to, right? So with Marvel, we should have expected, we're not going to get a Mephisto level villain. We're not going to get, a huge Ultron reveal or Reed Richards right away. They're going to save that for the movies, because they still got to bring people to the box office too at the end of the day. If we get everything in WandaVision, no one's going to bother to go to the theater anymore. They're just going to wait for it to come out on Disney Plus anyway. So I think it was good that they did like leave the breadcrumbs, but they didn't give us the full meal, because I still feel satisfied with what we got at the end of the day.
Yeah,
100%.
It's setting up the next phase, the next major story arc of the MCU. Like, it took us 12 years to get to Endgame after the first Iron Man. So this is like setting up all these seeds for things it's going to be like the next decade of films, really. Yeah. And I can guarantee you right now, in 10 years' time, we'll look back and be like, that has finally paid off. That tiny little thing in WandaVision that everyone thought was like this annoying, like loose thread. It's finally paid off. And so many things from Ultron finally got paid off in this series right here. I'm so happy about it.
Yeah, Ralph Boner will be Mephisto, is what's going to happen. I'm just kidding.
Oh, man. 2032, let's go.
Oh, guys, Dottie was nobody.
I was like, they threw that in there. They wanted everyone to speculate about Dottie. I feel like that was on purpose. They didn't put her up there, and then at the end, they're she's just this mom that's like, hey, my kid's trapped in their room. And you're like, what?
My name's Sarah.
I know. I feel like they're thrown in there on purpose. What's up, Ozzy?
So one other thing, though, talking to what Dave and James once said, right now with everything going on, the fact that we're getting at-home series that we can watch and not wait months and months and months of, they're blending it in, and it kind of came, and it sucks because of the pandemic, but I feel like it's kind of helped Disney Plus and the upcoming series to come up, with Loki, with Falcon Winter Soldier, Secret Wars, Ms. Marvel, all these different things coming up. Again, in a way, they're ahead of the curve. Comparing to Batman vs Superman, those studios are black and white. You cannot compare those studios. There's so much back end drama with Warner Brothers and all that stuff like that they're just now with HBO Max and stuff, and even the DC world getting their stuff together. Which we might finally see something with this whole Snyderverse thing going on. But, it's kind of come at a good time where we can actually sit and watch and not get everything dumped on us like The Mandalorian. That formula worked perfectly. And it's going to keep on, because at the end of the day, look how many of us are talking about it.
Right. Yeah, that's what they're going to do. That's why I still think there's going to be a lot of discussion around Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but I think Loki will be the next one where you're like, stuff's going crazy. Hopefully. I don't know. I'm just excited for all of it. So do you guys think what's the over under on Agatha coming back in the future? Because they really left that open. That conversation, I think, when she's like, you're going to need help. And she's like, well, then I know where to find you. And then she's like, I'll be seeing you. I'm like, oh, she goes back.
Okie dokie.
Ren looks like he wants to say something. Yeah. Okie dokie.
I give it a 15% in Doctor Strange. If she doesn't show up there, I could be wrong, but I don't see her showing up anymore. I think that was just a way of showing the Scarlet Witch and how different she is from Wanda. And I think she's just going to leave her there. And that's the rest of her existence. Again, I think if there's a place for Agatha to show up again, I think it's Doctor Strange. Maybe Doctor Strange goes to investigate what has happened up until that point, and he goes retracing Wanda's steps and goes back to Westview. Outside of that, I personally don't see it.
I want her back just because I love Catherine Hahn.
Right. Oh, she's amazing.
The thing that confused me is that Wanda closed off the bubble, or whatever we're calling it. So what happens? Vision's gone, the kids are gone. You would assume that everyone in the town has gone back to normal. So, I mean, where does that? I don't know. That's the thing that confused me. Is you're trapped in this town, but then I've also completely distracted the thing that's keeping you here. So
when she touched her, maybe she just made her. She's just going to be living there herself. She's trapped in her own little hex. Maybe I don't know though. But yeah, that's a good point. I hadn't even thought of that because everyone's going to be like, "Isn't this that witch?" I don't want her.
I don't know. Didn't she say
kind of an augmented version?
Yeah, maybe. What did you say, Leo?
Didn't she say "see you later, alligator"? That kind of, I don't know. It felt like a Get Out moment to me, where it's kind of like, I know what's going on, but I'm going to pretend like I'm just rolling with you with it. I could see her potentially popping up later on down the line to advise another villain on how to defeat Wanda, but maybe not as big of a role as she had in WandaVision. Right. I don't think this is the last of Agnes.
Yeah. I don't
Could
think
be
so
Baron
either.
Mordo.
That too. That would be a really good.
I suggested Doctor Strange, but it could be him. Yeah,
could be.
And he goes to eliminate Agatha as well.
I know that's true. What do you think, James? You think she's coming back?
Yeah, she's definitely coming back. To me, there's no way that they don't set all of this up for us to not get her again, and we're probably going to get her in Doctor Strange too. And the reason being is because, like you said, they're going to retrace her steps, right? They're going to go and see what the Scarlet Witch did and how she did it. And then Doctor Strange is going to notice, this is a very particular woman. Why is she acting so weird? Why is she still putting on this facade? And then I think by him kind of going back and playing around in that world, he's going to awaken Agatha once again. And it might end up being that Agatha and Doctor Strange team up to go ahead and try and stop Scarlet Witch, because we saw at the end of the post-credit scene, she's reading the Darkhold, was it? I believe it was the Darkhold.
Yeah, it was.
So, not a good sign.
Not a good thing. No. Oh man. And then she hears her kids. So and I had this debate with someone else, and I want to know, I'm not going to tell you guys what side I'm on, but do you think, and we'll start with Ren, do you think she was purposely trying to get her kids back, or do you think she was just reading the Darkhold and then hurt her kids?
I think she's just reading the Darkhold and happens to hear her kids, but she's reading the Darkhold with the intent of finding a way to get her kids, her vision, whatever back in whatever means possible. And whatever means possible will eventually mean opening up the multiverse, which causes disaster. And I think Doctor Strange 2 is basically, we need to close the multiverse because reality will disintegrate if we keep it open.
Yeah. What do you think, Dave?
I'm with it. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. I think it's I think she's at this point now where she's gone past breaking point, where it's like, I'll do anything to, get my family back, to get Vision back, get the kids back. And whether that's going down a path of darkness, should do what she's got to do. It's the thing we've seen in Star Wars, and so it's that almost like that hero's journey kind of thing that's in reverse. And you've seen it in so many things over the years, but I feel like that's like chooses that path of darkness, and will lead to Doctor Strange, because I think we spoke about that on the last chat. Where we're saying it's probably going to be where she's the villain, or something's happened where the multiverse has opened up, and it's them trying to then close it back before everything happens. So yeah, with that for sure.
What do you think, James?
So I had a different read on that. I actually thought that she heard her twins in the multiverse already, so she knows the multiverse exists. So these are a different version of her twins calling out for help. Because I get that the twins in the Hex probably would be startled as well. They went to bed thinking they were going to be just fine. So maybe they are calling out for distress. But I had a different read on that. I thought that maybe she already found out a way to get into the multiverse, and these are different twins that she's plucking from another reality to bring into her current reality. So she's trying again to manipulate her, current situation.
Yeah.
What do you think, Leo?
I'm actually on the same page as you, James. I thought that was like a hint to the multiverse immediately. I definitely think she is reading the Darkhold to somehow conjure that reality back up in a safe way and bring her reality of the Hex back to where she is. But I think when they were calling from another multiverse. I don't think they exist in this universe any longer. So I think, because doesn't it happen in the comics? They get reincarnated into two separate guys, and then they're still like twins and still connected. So I'm like, okay, maybe something to the lines of that is what's happening. She hears their call, goes to them, and it's like these two separate guys, but she's trying to find her twins. I thought they were going to be adults, by the way. I thought they would like age up by now. But
no, they need to be young Avengers.
I know, they need to be like teenagers.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Because they are introducing all these young Avengers, and they're obviously going to go down the route of doing a young Avengers thing. So these kids will have to come back. I mean, like it's obviously that'll happen. You're not going to introduce them and then get rid of them like that, especially when you're setting up the young Avengers with 4, 5, 6 other characters that they've kind of just introduced for it.
Yeah, and when they've already given them powers. Like, it's not like you're like, maybe they won't get their powers. They have. What did you think about that end credit, Ozzy?
I think one of the toughest parts of the show for her was losing her kids. And that grief, she's gone through so much since she was first introduced in her storyline in the MCU that grief has just created just this power she had no idea she had. And, I feel that, she is still kind of teaching her in a way, even though she was portrayed as the villain. When she heard Doctor Strange say that she was, when she heard her say that she was stronger than the Sorcerer Supreme, that clicked something in her head. And she's like, she's still learning her powers. And in a way, she's still learning. And seeing all the books when she was in the basement, she's kind of like, what is this? And when she went, back and seeing how she was trying to get her powers away, she's like, I can tap into something and bring her family back in a way.
Yes.
And that's just opening that door.
Right. Yeah. See, and that's what I took it as. She's there reading the Darkhold, trying to learn about herself. I mean, Agatha was literally like, there's a whole chapter on you in here. So I took it as she's reading the Darkhold. And of course, in her head, she's like, I would love to have my kids back. And I think that clicked something to do with like a multiverse. That's exactly what I thought. These are not her children from the Hex.
No.
They're other kids where something is being pulled in. I don't know that she exactly went. I don't think she went to the Darkhold with the intention of let's open a multiverse, but it was of let's find a way to get back.
Yeah, because I don't think she knows that it's possible, but she's trying to find that way. Because I will disagree with Leo on this. I don't think she's trying to find a safe way. I think she's just trying to find a way. It doesn't care. Because clearly what that scene suggested was that that Wanda, who's having her tea and is in her sweatpants, is an identity entirely different from the Scarlet Witch. And I think that's very promising to have like that dichotomy with the two characters. And you can safely have her be the bad guy and actually not just the antagonist, but the actual villain in Doctor Strange. But also you have a way of having her come back to the good side since it's a different person.
Do you guys think that she'll answer to the call and that answer will open up the multiverses from there.
Good.
Like she'll go to get her kids, opens up another multiverse, and then it all starts.
Oh
from
yeah,
that.
I think she just starts opening them, and as she goes and tries to find them, and that's how people just happen to cross over here and over there, and things start to go nuts.
Andrew and Toby and just everybody walking around all willy-nilly.
Oh my gosh, should we have that expectation anymore of Andrew and Toby? Like, I'm almost kind of scared to.
I know, I'm afraid to hype it up and then be like, oh.
I'm not afraid to expect it because I kind of prefer if they're not in a movie, so I'm all good in expecting them to be there. Because if they're not, I'll be like, cool.
So do you think Vision is coming back? So White Vision took off, and I go back and forth on this because I get annoyed when dead people don't say dead, because it feels like that wasn't. I mean, I love Vision, so bring him back. I don't care. Explain it fine, and I'll be fine with it. But at the same time, when he left, he's kind of struggling, right? With, is he the Vision, the real Vision? And if he's the real Vision, isn't he going to destroy himself? Because that's his directive. So do you have any thoughts? Anybody can chime in. What do you think is how that's going to happen? Does he destroy himself or does he come back?
It's funny.
I want to
you
go
bring that up,
last, so
go
anyone
ahead.
else start.
Oh, Ren. Oh, I thought you were going to go first. Sorry, Ren. I
want to go last.
Okay. So Tessa, it's funny you bring that up because I was just having that thought. I think that if Wanda goes and plucks out Tommy and Billy, Vision's not coming back. It's one or the other. Because the thing is, I do believe that Kevin Feige understands that eventually he's going to start having to kill off these characters. I do believe that Tony Stark he's gone. He's just gone. Like Robert Downey's Tony Stark is gone. I don't think we'll get Chris Evans' Cap anymore. And I think Paul Bettany's probably the third to go ahead and stay dead. And the reason I believe that too is because it seems like Wanda was okay with saying bye. She had the final words in that finale. She was the one to say, you're my sadness, but you're my hope. And I'll always love you, so-and-so. And the other way around was Vision saying, okay, goodbye. So I believe that Wanda's now okay with allowing Vision to stay dead. She can stomach it now because she understood that it was actually him, even though he, of course, inhabited White Vision's body. But this is their way of saying goodbye for good.
Yeah, I think you're right on that one.
Yeah. Well, it's so easy to forget, but Paul Bettany's been there since Iron Man as well, because he was voicing Jarvis. So you think about, he's only been in the film since Age of Ultron. We've had him here from the beginning, so it makes sense for this guy who has been there for 13 years to kind of step out. But that said, diving into the comics maybe not a good idea, because it's always, a different direction. But in the comics, when they rebuild Vision as the White Vision was then the new Vision in the Avengers team for years. So he took over the role of the original Vision. So I could see them going down that route where the Vision that we know is gone, but the White Vision now becomes our new Vision. And even in the comics, it was he comes back without any emotion. His connection with Wanda is gone. He is just a synthezoid, just a robot, right? So I feel like even if they do keep this White Vision along for whatever films in the future, it will be a different character. So it's not going to be that relationship between him and Wanda's just not going to be there. So in some way, you have got the Vision there, but it's not the Vision that we all know. So I don't know if they would just have him fly away and then never come back. It has to be something that will get picked up on at some point. But since Paul Bettany's been there for 13 years now, pushing 14 years, isn't it?
Yeah.
13, because 2008.
Yeah. So I think he would be naturally the next one of the next ones to kind of just go, I'm done. So I don't know. It could go either way. It's interesting.
Anybody else have any thoughts? Leo?
Did anybody address that White Vision was even there? I don't think any of the kids were like, whoa, what's going on? Nobody said anything. And then it was they had that really cool Battle of the Minds. He dipped out, y'all. That was it. And I could see it going out either way. That's it. He just goes his own way and maybe even starts another life. Or he just comes back as an Avenger. But I mean, either way, it would work out. I would love to keep Paul Bettany in, but Dave, you brought up a great point. I actually kind of forgot about Jarvis.
Yeah.
He's been in it since day one. So
Yeah.
if that's it for him, then we've had him just as long as we've had Tony Stark.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Time to let him go.
Yeah.
So
Gosh, that is part of the episode, man. Let
I
me
saw you
go.
crying, Leo. You had me crying. I was like, come on. I already cried all day.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think we'll see him in 5 or 6 years.
Yeah. Oh, there he is. White Vision. He's back. He's back. Yeah. I went up to space for a little bit, and now I'm back.
Yeah.
I don't think Wanda even addressed that he was white. He just like approached, and I'm like, didn't you say like, hey, looking a little blue there? What's going on?
Hey, what's going on with you? And then he tries to crush her head. That was crazy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah, that was mad.
That was crazy. What do you think, Ren?
Okay, so addressing, there's a part of me that agrees with what Dave said, that they keep bringing these people back, but also Paul Bettany has been here for the longest time. There's a part of me that fears that they just bring Vision back, because that's just what they do. As much as I love the MCU, that's just what they do in general. However, I see other possibilities. One of them is that we just talked about Young Avengers. He could be like the butler or security guard type of thing for the Young Avengers. Like they have their own, let's say, academy. Vision could be the White Vision could be the one that stays there taking care of them as the other Avengers have the main missions or whatever you wanna categorize that as. There's a part of me that also doesn't like that, because I don't think in film with an actor playing it, you gotta make it fun. You gotta make it interesting for the actor. I don't think a good guy, emotionless robot works on film. It's one thing in the comics, and that's fine. You're just writing that what that character says and drawing him. But in film, it doesn't really work for an actor. I don't think Paul Bettany, who's such a charming, funny man, will have a lot of fun playing a literally robotic Vision. And then there's another part of me, the last part of me, that believes that my Ultron theory could still come true in the future, because he now has the memories. He's now has the No, I'm not giving up on this. I love Ultron. I want him back.
Yes.
There's a part of me that believes, okay, he's just dipping out and they're not referencing him at all for a reason. Like, again, what Dave brought up a bit ago, they are setting up these things to pay off in the long run. It's not instant gratification, it's delayed gratification to be all that more rewarding when we do get the payoff to this build-up. So I believe there's a lot of possibilities for this White Vision. Some very exciting, some not so exciting, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, I don't know about this comment. I don't know that he'd be back in Doctor Strange 2. That feels too soon. But
Yeah, it feels a little too soon.
Yeah, no, I don't see it either.
I don't
You
know.
talked about him being a mentor, though. That totally reminded me of Red Tornado and Young Justice the first season. He could totally have that dynamic where he's just like in and out, quick little cameos, nice little bits here and there.
But that's the thing. Even Red Tornado has a personality.
Yeah.
This Vision, they could give him a personality, I guess, but it doesn't really make sense with what we've seen.
Yeah, I don't think they would add that. I would hope they wouldn't add that, because then it just kind of changes the whole. And then they're just like, here's Vision again. He's a different color.
Right.
Exactly. Because Jarvis and Vision had a personality because Stark did the tech, did the software. He gave him a personality. This is a sword thing. This Vision is a creation of sword. They didn't care to give him a personality. They just wanted a weapon, which is, again, why I think Ultron is a real possibility.
Look, you have someone agreeing with you. Ultron makes sense. Come back.
He always comes back in the comics. I know we're not pulling from the comics, but come on, it's right there.
Ultron always comes back.
Yeah.
Always.
What's James Spader up to? Surely he's not up to much. I don't know. I don't see him in much.
Yeah.
He's on YouTube.
Bring him back for some voiceover every now and then.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Listen, a voice is easy enough for him if he doesn't even have to do anything but a voiceover. He can do that from home.
Yeah. He doesn't even have to do the motion capture this time. It's just Paul Bettany who's doing the physical thing.
That's very true. So, do we think Wanda's going to be a villain in Doctor Strange 2? Well, definitely the Darkhold is not a good book, and it's definitely gonna mess with her now that she has it. I was always, and I know Ren was kind of on this, and I think a couple of us were more like maybe not the villain, but the antagonist. Although now that she has the Darkhold, I can see it really pulling her to the quote unquote dark side because it definitely manipulates people. I want to know what Ren's reaction, because he had called it the Darkhold before and then was like, maybe it's just a book. So when she was like, Darkhold, it's the book of the damned. Were you so excited?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Because I think the Darkhold opens up the possibilities. And again, it gives us, not us, but the filmmakers, it gives them that excuse to, yes, let's make Scarlet Witch the bad guy, because the Scarlet Witch is not Wanda, it's just another personality in her body. But really excited that they called it the Book of the Damned. It's probably the most evil book here in the MCU. There's an entire chapter dedicated to her. There's a drawing of her that's very similar to her position in that last scene where she's just reading and doing this. So and it says that the promise that she will destroy the world, I think she'll destroy the world by making it collapse upon itself in the axis of reality.
Yeah. Speaking of like her outfit, ooh, I love her new outfit. I was like, man, got the outfit.
Tight.
I know. I was like, Wanda, you look hot. Like, and then Agatha said it, and I was like, yeah, Agatha, I'm with you on her. Like, that was awesome. I'm so glad she got that outfit.
But see that whole thing, like her finally becoming Scarlet Witch, finally getting the costume, finally getting the headdress, is something we've been waiting for since Ultron. It's like, how long have we been waiting for them to finally pick up that thread? You know, it's these long run things that finally, like every movie, every movie she's been in, her powers progress a little bit. Her costume slowly gets a little bit closer to the comic book. And I honestly was starting to think they're never going to pay it off. They're never going to actually go full. And maybe if they weren't going to be doing, if the Disney Plus stuff was out of the question, maybe we wouldn't have got this. You never know. This has given them the opportunity to finally go back and go, all these open-ended things we've had in the past, we can finally start to pay them off in little ways. Man, that costume, so happy with that. That's what I wanted to do.
Yeah. You know what sucks the most about that costume? Is that the hot toy is going to be awesome, and I'm never going to be able to
need the hot toy. I bought the
Funko Pop.
I bought the first hot toy they did, where she's just in the, just the normal, the skirt and the and stuff.
Yeah.
And then they did the special edition one, which was her in the Joss Whedon, where he made her look all, really sexualized. Stuff. That's the one I bought. I sold the other one, and then I've been holding on to that one, going, "This is not the Wanda I want in my collection." I'm waiting for them to do the proper costume, and now they sell that one. And I'm going to buy the new one. I'm so excited. Maybe that's why I'm really excited about it, because I finally got my hot toy. However long I
putting the hot in hot toy.
For real. I was so excited to see that outfit. Oh man.
I love when they finally pay off things, man. I love it, especially when it's characters that we love and you're just waiting for their moment. And this is a character I've loved for so long, and ever since the Ultron and stuff, as a character I've been so interested in her and the Vision. Just something so just wacky and weird about them. The comics they were in together, the Vision and the Scarlet Witch arc, just so weird and crazy. I've been waiting for so long. I need them to pay this off, just because all this stuff that's in the comics. Do it. They've done it. Man, I've been very happy with this whole series. The way they paid it off has been really good.
Yeah. And I wanted to piggyback off on that, Dave, too, because you pretty much took the words out of my mouth. WandaVision was literally the epitome of payoff. I mean, just because it didn't actually make our theories come true doesn't mean that it didn't accomplish a lot. I mean, it brought in a live studio audience to perfectly replicate that 50s style of sitcom. And from that point on, they did an amazing job outside of The Office and the Modern Family setting of capturing what it is that they promised us, which was Wanda and Vision pretending to be in love, and then so many things externally happening. And then they gave us more. They gave us Agatha Harkness. They gave us Scarlet Witch's costume reveal. They gave us the Darkhold, and even a reference to Doctor Strange to perfectly set up Spider-Man 3 and Doctor Strange 2. It did everything that they said the show was going to do. It just didn't do a little bit more, because that's what we put on it, not because of what Marvel told us they would do.
Absolutely. The thing
imagine if it had done everything we had. Sorry, Dave.
No, you're right. Go.
Yeah, imagine if they had done everything that we were in a way hoping. It would have been too bloated. It would have been way too bloated and way too much to digest, and then it just wouldn't have worked.
Well, I think that like I said earlier, like some of the payoffs were really underwhelming. Like Haywood, essentially his arc ends getting handcuffed and then like that's it. Like some of those things, I feel like there was so much going on in the show that a lot of the stuff that they did ramp up happened really quickly and really underwhelming. You start shoving stuff like Mephisto in there and all these other things, Ultron and everything else. This would have been it would have been too much. But look at us. We're still sitting. The show is done and we're still sitting here theorizing about stuff that's going to happen in the next 10 years and still really excited about it. 90% of the stuff we've been waiting for didn't happen, but we're still excited because what if it does happen in 10 years' time or, whatever else? It's just the way they have done it is just brilliant. And what I was going to say, interesting, this was supposed to go directly into Doctor Strange. That was supposed to come out 2 months after WandaVision finished. They've swapped the order now of Doctor Strange and Spider-Man, which are both dealing with the multiverse, as far as we're aware, with Spider-Man anyway. So I wonder, did they have to change the script for Spider-Man to flip them around to introduce things that were supposed to be introduced in Doctor Strange, or are they going to move Spider-Man again? Or that's the thing for me is like Marvel is so precise with how they schedule everything and how everything. It's just going to be. I'm curious now how that's going to work.
Dave, I think we're going to see the multiverse in Spider-Verse, in Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That whiteboard at the end of the Spider-Man tease reveal looks so much like a Spider-Verse. It had the same glitch, and it glitched the colors into the Spider-Verse title. I'm like, dude, we gotta get the multiverse in that next one. Like, no way.
Yeah. But they started
the only reason why I don't
switched it, so they definitely could have changed stuff up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The only reason why I don't think they did is because they barely delayed Spider-Man. Like it had it had one natural delay because of the pandemic and because they couldn't start shooting in time for the original release date, but not enough for you to not entirely, but one small thing to change in a script affects the whole film because you'll be looking at the whole thing. So that's the only reason why I don't think the Spider-Man 3, the Spider-Man No Way Home script changed at least a lot, maybe details here and there, maybe who they bring in, but the whole thing about the multiverse opening up and all these villains coming in, I think that was always there.
Yeah, but the thing that gets me is like if Doctor Strange was meant to be that big film that introduces the multiverse, it finally gets opened up and stuff. When I say maybe they had to change something with Spider-Man, I don't say it they had to change it because Spider-Man got moved or whatever. They had to change it for Spider-Man. They had to change it for Doctor Strange because if Doctor Strange was supposed to be the film that introduces these big ideas, these big themes, that then pays off in Spider-Man, but now you've got Spider-Man before it. I don't know. I'm sure they've obviously figured it out and stuff, but it's just one of those things where I'm kind of like, how's it gonna work?
Yeah.
Was Doctor Strange still coming out after WandaVision when they already had Sam Raimi, or was that only when they had Scott Derrickson before he walked away?
I think it's the latter, Ren. I think it's the latter.
Okay. Because if they only had that 2 month difference when Derrickson was there, then they had the Raimi because they wanted to change the story for it to be like the finale of the 3 thing arc.
Right.
True. Because the film would have obviously changed drastically.
Right. Oh yeah.
Yeah. We've seen that in like Ant-Man and whatever else, and no, interesting. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. And I'm sure we'll hear about it in the future.
We'll be on here speculating what's going to happen in Doctor Strange 2 after we all watch Spider-Man 3, and then we'll all be wrong. And it'll be fun. It's crazy, though, to think, like, just how much, like, my husband, I told some of you earlier when we were on here waiting, watched WandaVision, and we watched the finale last night, and he goes, so was this whole thing about her being, like, sad, and now she has a costume? And it's like, I mean... Yes. But also, like, it's a little more than that. So I like Dave's been saying, like, there's stuff that's gonna pay off, which is why I think Agatha's not gone. I think she's gonna be. I think this was a little bit of an introduction to her, even if she's a small thing in the future. I mean, Monica, that was huge, and Monica and the twins, which are definitely going to be in the future. I think that was important that they showed how she got her powers. I kind of dig how Monica got her powers too.
Oh, same.
I think that was a good way to do it. But the one thing I will say that I still hold off on this is I do wish they released the first 3 episodes together, because unfortunately a lot of people fell off because of that.
Yeah.
And people made up their minds early on that this isn't something I want to watch. This is gonna lose me. You know what I mean? What do you guys think?
But that's such a shame, though. Sorry, like,
it is.
To chime in, it's such a shame, and I think even Dave touched on it a while back, saying that we're so used to instant gratification now in the age of Nerdist, IGN, all these sites. You know, everyone's just like wanting everything now. But then if you get everything now, it's like, then what?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
There used to be the old rule in television when TV was, when we were so used to watching TV like every single week. And the rule was you give it 3 episodes to make up your mind. And if you after the 3rd show, whatever. But it's always those first few episodes that are always it's like to take a little while to teed you into it. And I think you're right there, Tessa, that they should have dropped the 3 at once. I mean, they gave critics 3 episodes for a reason, because it's the first act of the show, and by the end of that 3rd one you have an idea of where the show's going. And why they didn't give the 3 episodes to everyone at once is a little bit confusing, and I think it was to the detriment of the show. But there was also a report that by the 4th episode views had like spiked enormously, so I think a lot of people probably came back, and other people who were maybe a little skeptical actually jumped on board at that point. But
And also the online chatter.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right.
But like you say, Ozzy, it's like, you got just people are so used to that instant gratification that these old rules that we were so used to, the 3 episode rule, it's just gone. People don't think about that now.
Yeah.
Sorry, Lee, you're gonna say something?
Could you imagine if it all came out at once, though? Like, it would be like a Netflix series. It's like we would have talked about it for a weekend, and then we would have been like, okay, guys, see you for Falcon
What's the next thing?
See ya in March.
I don't know if I would have enjoyed it as much, honestly.
No way.
Yeah, right. I mean, like, we would have knocked it out in a weekend. But I really liked them doing the first 2, giving us that 3rd one. So it's like, okay, there's 2 weeks in. Even if you didn't like those first 3 episodes, you could say, okay, let me give 1 more week. And then all of a sudden you're hooked. I mean, starting it off with the snap, giving us a full MCU episode that just gives us the perspective from outside the Hex. That really brought a lot of people back in, I think. So I like the way that they staggered these out, gave us the first 2, then another one, then went for that 4 to change things up and change the scope. But I agree with what you guys are saying. People aren't used to appointment television anymore, but we just came off of Game of Thrones. Like, that was like a week to week, and there was definitely episodes in that show where there was a lot of dawdling and some things maybe would happen mid-episode, but come on now. No excuse for WandaVision. It's only 30 minutes.
I know, it's barely 30 minutes. That's like with credits.
Right. With credits, it's 20.
10 minutes of credits.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. But what I will say is, like what Leo said, all right, guys, when's the last time we heard about the Umbrella Academy season 2? It's been a while. When's the last time we heard about The Walking Dead? It's been forever. And also, all these shows that we binge watch on Netflix, on Hulu, whatever it might be, the conversation's there in one moment and then it's gone the next, because I think we've already exhausted ourselves. But week to week, we still have a little bit more fuel because of us theorizing. Our theories have kept this show, in terms of momentum, continuing to like chug along. So I love that. But at the same time, I mean, I don't think Netflix will go back on their binge model, because I think they are catering to their fan base, which is wanting everything at once.
Yeah, I honestly think they will start trying, because they already have started, like, not with their like main shows, but they've already started trying with 2 reality shows, I believe. So I think the first big thing they're gonna try with when it comes to week release dates, to week releases, is gonna be Stranger Things season 4. I think that's gonna be their first. Let's try this out. And it's going to work for them. I can guarantee it's going to work for them, because every week people will be talking about Stranger Things on Friday and during the weekend.
They'd be
If
mad
it
not to
releases on
do it.
Fridays.
What'd you say, Dave?
Exactly.
I said that they would be mad not to do it.
Yeah.
Because look at the conversation that's around WandaVision, and you're not going to lose Stranger Things fans because you're getting an episode a week. People aren't going to go, "Oh, I'm done with this show now." They will return every single week, and they'll talk about it every week.
Yeah.
And there'll be a conversation for how many episodes are there? Stranger Things a season, like
Like
8,
8 or
13,
10,
I think.
probably.
you're going to extend it. But I'm not. I don't watch. I haven't ever watched Stranger Things. But I do see the discourse and stuff online. I'm sorry, I've just offended everyone. I do see, but I notice enough of it to notice that it's there and it's gone. There's people talking about it for a week and then it's gone. You don't hear about it until the next season goes up. I promise I will. I think I may have watched an episode and for some reason didn't go back to it. I did like what I saw of it though. I don't know. There's too much to watch these days.
There's
Give
a
me
lot.
week by week and I'll get into it.
Exactly. That's exactly it though. It's easier, especially for us. I know for myself, especially as a critic and a content creator, it's like I don't get the time to sit and watch a whole bit, like, because then I feel pressure. I feel like I can't enjoy it as much. I have to watch it really quick so that I can get a review out so that, people don't forget about it because they're going to forget about it in 3 days. So you have to like watch the whole thing, get it out. With this, you're able to watch the episode, maybe even more than once, get content out. We have this discussion. My favorite thing is like Friday afternoons to pop in the chat with you guys and be like, all right, guys, like, what do we think's happening next? Ren shares mind-blowing memes that we're all like, what? I didn't know that.
I'm the meme guy of the group.
Yes. Even though they all point to Ultron, which
Ultron memes.
I mean, it could
I didn't
still
make
happen.
the memes. I didn't make the memes. I just share them.
But yeah, it's just I would love to see. I think Stranger Things is a good one to do it with, especially since it's season 4. They've already got such a big fan base that people online will complain and say I'm not going to watch it, but then they're going to do it.
I'll watch
Yeah,
it.
Sure.
You're not going to lose viewers by doing it. The hardcore fan base is not going to just up and leave. They'll be there every week, and there'll be a conversation for 10 weeks, just like there has been with the Disney Plus shows. The Mandalorian was the same. Maybe not to the same extent because you didn't get all the theorizing and stuff. But there was definitely that conversation every 10 weeks. Mandalorian,
Yeah.
They'd be crazy not to do it. I think this. I think this moment we need to go back on it.
Yeah, and then the ripples are bigger because the more we talk about Mandalorian or WandaVision week to week, even after it's over, we'll still talk about it because WandaVision set in the same universe as Falcon and the Winter Soldier, so maybe there will be something there. And then it's set in the same universe as Loki, and then it's set in the same universe as Miss Marvel. So it continues to ripple out and grow. While stuff on Netflix, if you release the entire season, maybe in the next week you have a few people here and there because maybe someone didn't watch it immediately at launch. And then it dies down. Like it survives for a week. It's over because then even Netflix has the next big thing. So Netflix kind of cannibalizes their own conversation.
Yeah,
that is true.
And just think the week after next, we're going to be right on Falcon and Winter Soldier.
I know.
6 weeks.
I'm so excited. And then Loki.
Even this week, we'll maybe not review it on our channels, but we'll talk about it with each other. Oh, did you see the making of WandaVision? Because it was just released on Disney Plus.
Oh, I'm excited for that.
That's sweet.
Can't wait.
We getting that. Plus, aren't we getting like 4 legends for for Falcon? Oh,
Legend.
We got 2 already.
Oh, we did?
Yeah. We got the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and then next week we'll get Zemo and Sharon Carter.
I
totally missed that one.
I didn't know that.
I thought they were all next week. Now I know what I'm going to watch.
Yeah.
Thanks, Leo. I had no idea.
Legends, let's do it.
I know. I guess it said it at the end. It was like watch Legends, and I think I was just like, oh, wow.
Yeah, that's what I saw. It was on the title card right at the end.
Oh, I'm gonna look.
I know. I had no idea. All right, guys. Unfortunately, I have somewhere I have to be, so we have to wrap up. But does anybody have any final? Well, actually, we'll go around, and everyone will give their final thoughts on WandaVision. Go ahead, Ren.
Me. Okay, WandaVision is a great show. Don't let your theories deteriorize the show for what it is, because what it is, it has flaws, yes, but it is great. I still want to know who were the people in the commercials, because we got no payoff for that.
That's true.
That's true.
Yes, yeah.
I forgot.
Yeah. Because we didn't have any commercials like the last 2 shows, so it just sort of
No.
yeah. Wow.
They weren't her parents. We saw her parents, and it wasn't them.
Yeah.
Who are they?
Actors. They're friends with Ralph Boner in there.
Oh my goodness. They're Ralph Boner's parents.
Dave, what are you gonna say about WandaVision?
I hated it. No, I loved it. I loved it, guys. I thought it was a great show. Like the more I think about it, the more I loved it, man. As I said at the beginning, some of the things didn't pay off the way that particular things that did get wrapped up. I feel like a lot of things were a little underwhelming the way they got wrapped up, whether it's Haywood or again, whatever else that just kind of came to a definite end. There's a lot of things that they definitely did tie up, and I feel like the Ralph Boner, whatever else, a little bit underwhelming. But look, there's so much more to take from this. We're not going to get another season of WandaVision, but this show has ramifications for the next decade of storytelling in the MCU, and it just makes me so excited. Coming out of Endgame, and I feel like I've heard a lot of people echo the same sentiments, is like, how am I ever going to get excited for Marvel again? We've had 22 films. We've finally had this big culmination, Endgame. How are you going to top that? And Marvel's come at us and gone, take this. Look what we're doing. Just open up this entire just wild and wacky universe, which is completely different to anything you've ever had. And this has just got me so excited for, the next 10 years, the next however many years of these films. Just don't if there's anyone out there who is disappointed how this show ended, don't. This is a great show, and whatever's been left open, they will pay off. This show has paid off things that were opened up 10 years ago in the MCU. Just give it time, give it patience, and we'll get there. We'll get some. Oh, I love it. It was great. On to the next.
I love it. I love that, Dave. I love that, Ren. So I think that WandaVision is an excellent show because it didn't serve as just a stepping stone. It wasn't simply, hey, here's what's going to happen, and then we'll lead into Spider-Man 3 because we know that's on your minds. Instead, it made me love Wanda and Vision, two characters I had just previously enjoyed seeing in these Avengers-type films. So I feel like I not only understand what the MCU is going for, but now they're going to go ahead and give us more emotional layers to their content. I don't think The Falcon and the Winter Soldier is now simply going to be just an action shoot-'em-up type of show. We're going to get to understand Sam, we're going to understand Bucky, and what I think WandaVision does the best is that it gave itself legitimacy in terms of some of these other TV giants. It wasn't just, hey, Marvel's being all jovial and stuff. There were moments, especially I think it was episode 5, where Paul Bettany floats into the air and says, stop lying to me. That level of emotion, I saw that in Breaking Bad. I haven't seen that in anything else that the MCU's ever done. So I absolutely love what we got in WandaVision.
Yeah.
All right, Leo, what do you got?
Went away. Somebody go.
Oh, Tessa.
Don't worry, I got y'all. Come on, Leo, what's up?
Man, no Mephisto, no Reed Richards. I'm so mad. No, it was a great finale. I mean, excellent show. You said it perfectly, James. They are revealing these layers of the characters that were totally in the background in Avengers, and characters that were kind of just afterthoughts at how they set them up. But now we're going to get more layers on Bucky, on Sam. These are going to be big layer stories that are going to reveal more about the character. I cannot wait to explore the shows coming up. And Dave, you said it perfectly as well. Endgame. You're coming out of Endgame. You're kind of like, wow, that was the best Marvel project I've ever seen. How could they? How? And then they dropped this nugget on us. And guess what? We're hyped for phase 4. Here we are, guys. I thought this was a great way to start phase 4. I know this was supposed to be in a different order after the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but I think this was a really good decision on them to drop a very different show first and really give us something that is completely different from the usual Marvel fanfare. So, man, I am psyched for what's to come in the future. And WandaVision, phenomenal.
Yeah.
So good.
Good. So good. And look, I'm getting more and more hyped for Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I said in the group the other day that I was like, I don't know if I can get hyped for this because it just feels so. Almost feels like a step back because of the direction we've gone with WandaVision. It almost feels like we're stepping back. But man, I'm getting so pumped for it, and I'm so excited to see Sam pick up the shield and
oh my god, I can't wait.
Our host
back.
turned off. I was like, what's going on? It was crazy. And then I tried to get on my phone and it popped back up. I don't know. I messaged my husband and was like, did our internet go out? He's like, yeah, it's gone. Anyway, that was scary. I was like, what? I'm glad
Ozzy,
it kept going because this just stopped. So sorry to interrupt. Were you guys on your closing thoughts?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Ozzy's
just
next.
Yeah, I think Ozzy's next.
Yeah, so everything what everybody said, plus, to anyone out there again who's giving like, oh my God, TV show, I don't like this, and something different. I feel we're gonna get something different with every Marvel series coming out on Disney Plus, and just keep an open mind, because we're getting that character development, we're getting that, more stories, which is what we've wanted from the beginning, and the WandaVision series was so different, but it was so good.
Yeah.
And one of the highlights of it is that it's brought so many of us together again in this age, of pandemic, of
Yeah.
like that virtual human contact and talking about things. And I haven't seen my Twitter feed blow up as much as it has in the last few months with meaningful conversations.
Mhm.
And I've lost a lot of Twitter stuff back years ago because it just became just random, but now we're, having conversations again on Twitter, meeting so many cool people, and I feel that every series coming out now is going to do that in a way. So, keep an open mind. And if this is the beginning of a whole nother phase, another 10 years, and it's going to work. It is going to work because now we have streaming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. You got to stick with it, right? And like Dave's been saying, the payoffs are going to come. Just got to wait for them, but they're going to come. And, we get the week to week, but it's good because you get that conversation like we were talking about. And I know some people are like, I just want to binge it all in one sitting, but it wouldn't be as entertaining. It wouldn't be as fun. It wouldn't have as many conversations. Like I said, I look forward to every Friday hopping in the Twitter chat with these guys and talking about what we've just seen and what's going to happen next. And I'm hoping there's lots more to come. I feel like it gives them more chance to get that character development, right? Like we got to see, if they had thrown Wanda becoming the Scarlet Witch just in a movie, it wouldn't have been able to be the full mainstay. It wouldn't have worked as well. This was the way to do it. It was incredible. There was definitely that payoff. And I'm excited for the future of the MCU, the mix between television and movie. I think it'll tie together nicely. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Yay. All right. I do have to go, but real quick, everyone, just say where everyone can find you. Go ahead, Ren.
Do I start?
Yep.
Okay, you can find me everywhere on Twitter and YouTube at Ren Geekness. Stay tuned because I have a new episode of Origin Story coming out tomorrow, which I'll be recording today, and on Instagram at RenVieira93. Thank you so much, Tess, and thank you everyone for watching this.
Dave. Yes, Dave. Jeez, I'm really tired now. I am now. Gosh. Okay, my name's Dave Lee. I'm introducing myself again. You can find me at Dave Lee Down Under. Right here, on YouTube, on Instagram, on Twitter, all that stuff. I look forward to seeing you there. Thanks, guys. It's been really awesome. This has been a really good chat tonight. Even though I'm like, my eyes are falling out of my head. It's been fantastic. James.
I love that. Yes, I echo the sentiments of what Dave and Ren said. This has been so great. I think my favorite part of WandaVision has been getting to know you guys on a deeper level. So thank you guys for your friendship. Chat, you guys have been amazing as well. I think that this is all going to be so great moving forward. I can't wait to just get to know you guys even more. But if you guys want to get to know me, you can find me on YouTube just by searching Real James, REEL James, and on any social media platform at It's Real James. I'm excited to dive into some more reactions and reviews with you guys.
Good. That was also very good, James.
You did.
I haven't told myself very well today.
I love you, Dave.
Leo, go ahead.
Well, hey, I echo what everybody said. This has been great getting to know you all and talk WandaVision like every week. Like, it's been so fun to just chat about all things Marvel. But guys, I talk reviews, movies, news. Come on over to my channel, Geekly Goods, and then on Twitter and social media, I'm Leo Rydell. And yeah, guys, let's continue this conversation more. Falcon and the Winter Soldier right around the corner.
Woo! Ozzy.
All right, guys. Ozzy, you can find me across all social platforms at Film Foodie Ozzy. You'll see reactions and you'll see this little guy on here, a future nerd who loves everything MCU and DC and all that stuff. And yeah, give us a follow. We're growing. We got some great things coming in 2021. expanding interviews, more contests, hopefully screeners, in-person screeners.
I know.
But yeah, everything from reviews, funny stuff, funny dad stuff, funny family stuff, good around content. Thanks.
Oh, this was so fun. I'm glad you guys could join me. Look at those. I got mine behind. Well, you can't see them because it's dark back there, but mine are right there.
This one just got here today.
Oh, I remember you said they shipped separately, right?
Yeah, it just got in today in time for my birthday tomorrow. So I
yeah.
already have
Happy
all
birthday,
There you go. Happy birthday, Ren.
It's your birthday
Thank
for
you.
Davis.
Yeah, it's my birthday in Australia. It's true.
Dave went to bed. He just
Lives in
Did he pass out?
No, I think he went to get the pops or some figures. Maybe he went to get some hot toys.
Yes.
Oh my
maybe.
God.
Oh, that's so funny. Oh man, there you go.
There you go. Yeah.
We said you went to bed. We said Dave had enough.
Almost gonna play my toys first.
Oh,
Let's all.
Yeah.
I was talking about it before. I had to bring her out. Oh, my camera's here, isn't it? On the left.
this
Ooh.
is
Sick. That's sick.
Live stream, guys. I will be
This-
back in the next film.
But I'll be all white.
This is legit what Dave does when the cameras are not on. He just
When it's 2
not-
a.m., I'm like really tired.
which I'm not criticizing. I do that too.
All right. On that note, guys, thank you so much for joining me. This was so fun. I'm definitely gonna have you guys back out for some Falcon and the Winter Soldier chat. I can't wait to talk about it with you guys. Love you guys so much. Thanks for joining. And everybody in the chat, thank you for joining this morning, bright and early. For me, very late for Dave. Middle of the day for Ren. yeah.
I'm
He was
good.
the least.
It's been good. I would not have done it if I didn't want to do it, and I had fun. It's been great.
All right, guys. And that's it. That's a wrap. Thanks, guys.